12 major inflammation-causing foods. 1. Processed carbs, like white bread and white rice, are some of the most common causes of inflammation due to their high glycemic index. These types of carbs are refined, which means they contain fewer nutrients and are digested faster. This leads to a rapid rise in blood sugar and consequently an increase in insulin production. Aim for complex carbohydrates such as whole grain breads, oats, brown rice and quinoa instead. 2. Red meat. Fatty cuts of red meat like steak and bacon can be detrimental to your health. Eating large amounts of red meat increases the risk of chronic diseases, such as heart disease, stroke, diabetes and some cancers. The avoidance of red meat altogether is a healthier option for reducing inflammation. 3. Fried foods. Fried foods like onion rings and chicken nuggets are high in trans fats, which can contribute to inflammation. Trans fatty acids are created when manufacturers use hydrogenated oils for frying. This has been linked to increased risk of heart disease and stroke. Fried foods contain very little fiber or nutrition, even if the ingredients are initially healthy. 4. Sugary drinks. Soda and juice contain high levels of sugar, which can trigger an inflammatory response in the body. Sugar also increases insulin production, which can lead to higher levels of inflammation, promoting hormones like cortisol. 5. Alcohol. Alcohol consumption can cause inflammation in our body as it is broken down into acetaldehyde, a toxic byproduct for our bodies. The more alcohol consumed, the greater the production of inflammation-causing molecules. The avoidance of alcohol altogether is one way to reduce potential health risks associated with it. 6. Dairy. High-fat dairy like sour cream and ice cream can cause inflammation in the body. Dairy can trigger an immune response, causing cells to release cytokines and other inflammatory compounds that contribute to joint pain, fatigue, headaches, and even depression. 7. Smoked foods. Smoked foods and meats are often linked with inflammation, as the smoke itself can contain carcinogenic compounds that can increase inflammation in the body. When these compounds enter your bloodstream, they can trigger inflammatory responses that cause inflammation in the body's tissues and organs. Consider avoiding processed meats like bacon or hot dogs and limit how often you eat smoked salmon. Opt for other protein sources such as beans and legumes when possible. 8. Hydrogenated oils. These are highly inflammatory and can have a detrimental effect on your health. They are made by forcing hydrogen atoms into unsaturated fats, such as vegetable oils, soy, sunflower and safflower, which creates a more solid fat with a longer shelf life. Sadly, the hydrogenation process increases trans fatty acids that are known to cause inflammation in the body. It is best to avoid consuming these types of oils, but if you do consume them, limiting them as much as possible is advised. 9. Trans fats. Trans fats are one of the biggest dietary sources of inflammation. Trans fats are found in many different processed foods, such as margarine and many commercial baked goods. Not only do trans fats increase inflammation, but they also raise LDL, bad cholesterol levels, which can lead to an increased risk for cardiovascular disease. 10. White sugar. White sugar is a major culprit in causing inflammation. This is because it contributes to excessive calorie intake and higher levels of triglycerides, which are linked to pro-inflammatory compounds. Eating too much sugar can also affect the balance of gut bacteria, increasing inflammation in the body. High sugar foods such as candy, soda, baked goods, and sugary drinks should be avoided. So, instead of frequently consuming these inflammatory triggers, why don't you opt for more natural sources of sugar like fresh fruits and vegetables? 11. Synthetic Frankenfoods. Synthetic Frankenfoods are foods that have been chemically engineered to increase their longevity on the shelf. While this seems like a good idea, it might not be so great for our bodies. That's because the chemicals used can cause inflammation in the body, which leads to a range of health problems down the line. So next time you see something labeled synthetic on store shelves, think twice before purchasing it. 12. Refined flour. Refined processed bleached flour is one of the foods that can cause inflammation in our bodies. This type of flour has been stripped of its natural nutrients and fiber, leaving it with very little nutritional value. Refined flours are also higher on the glycemic index, meaning they cause a rapid rise in blood sugar levels which can trigger an inflammatory response. To prevent this from occurring, we should limit our consumption of refined flour products and opt for whole grain options instead. That's our list of 12 foods, but here is a bonus for sticking around to the end. 13. Fast food. Did you know that French fries, burgers, fried chicken, and pizzas are some of the most common culprits when it comes to increasing inflammation? Eating large amounts of these foods can lead to weight gain and an increase in inflammation markers in your body. Many fast food items also contain trans fats and artificial ingredients that may also be contributing to systemic inflammation. Limiting or avoiding the above-mentioned foods is a good place to start for better health. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and see more of our other interesting videos.